Okay, fellas, Wire here. I promised you guys a radio, and we're going to do this old Admiral radio. A buddy of mine gave me this. Actually, gave me a bunch of radios. He does clean outs, and he said he'd give them to me instead of throwing them out because he knows I like doing them. Anyway, I don't know what year this is, but it is a plastic radio. I would say somewhere in the late 50s, early 60s. What's so cool about this radio is this radio was dedicated to a teacher, and you can't see it on the top, but I will show it to you. It's got a crack on the top, but it's really cool. Let me reposition the camera, and let's take a look at it. Anyway, I don't know if you can see this or not. It says from the senior class of 61. So this radio is at least 61 years old. And it's got everybody's name, I guess, that was in the class. I don't know who it was probably given to a teacher from this class. I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to get this, try to get this back together. I'm really trying not to do too much with the top. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I don't want to erase any of these names. As you can see, there's a crack in it. I'm pretty sure Crazy Glue will fix that up with a little bit of epoxy. But yeah, let's get this together. And I do have all the parts for this one, so we'll just keep it going. What I want to do is fire it up and see if we get anything out of it. I haven't had it on yet, so let me set the dim bulb tester up, and maybe we'll see if we can get anything out of this. Okay, I think what I want to do is bring it up on the Variac. We'll see what it does. Let's put this up to about 50 volts. This is a tube radio, by the way. So let's see if anything is warming up in here. Let's get a little bit more voltage. I don't know if you can hear that. We're at 75 volts, and there's humming in it, so that means the filter capacitor needs to be replaced, and we'll probably replace all the capacitors. So this is a live radio. We just gotta put some capacitors in there and see if we can get some stations on it. So let me get this all set up, and we'll start taking this thing apart. This is wire. Okay, fellas, I'm going to take the knobs off, if I can get them off. This looks like this was in a smoking environment. Put them on the side. Now this back was snapped in, so I'm trying to get this out without breaking it. Oh, there you go. Okay, it's a mess in there. So let's see if we can get to pull this out. It really is in there. Okay, there is a screw in there, so let's get these tubes out. We are going to be testing these tubes too. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a screw right way down in there. And fortunately, the speaker's screwed in too, so there's nothing glued in, which is pretty cool. So this should come apart pretty easy. Let me get a Phillips screwdriver and we'll get this out. Be right back. Okay, I took the screws out of the back, and there's one screw right here holding it in as well. Okay. I think it'll come out right now. There you go. The case is a mess. The speaker looks great, so we won't have to do anything with that. Oh, now the only thing in here as far as capacitors is this filter capacitor, and it's 3 capacitors in one: a 30 microfarad, 50 microfarad, and a 20 microfarad. So what we're going to have to do is find out which is which, what goes where, and we'll attach it. I don't have anything like this, so we're going to have to use three different capacitors. So this was built back when they were starting to get into surface mount stuff, and eventually they went to transistors after this, I guess. And I believe this is a model Y2993, if you can see that. So we're going to fix this and clean this up, and see if we can get this working. Anyway, guys, let me find the capacitors for this, and we'll put the capacitor in here, and we're going to check the tubes as well. Okay, fellas, I took this capacitor out, and I had to put 3 different ones in here. You can see it. The lighting in here really stinks. So what we're going to do now, I did clean the bottom of this real good, put the 3 capacitors in there, and what we're going to do now is check the tubes. So let me put this over here for now. Now all these tubes, only 4 tubes. These are original tubes. These are original Admiral tubes. So this radio has never been worked on. I don't think it's been used that much. I think the only reason why the filter capacitor went bad is because it never got played. Capacitors will wear out even if you don't use a piece of equipment. They just dry out over time, and they need to be replaced. Fortunately, the only other capacitors in this radio are disc capacitors, and they hold up really good. They hold up for years and years and years. I've done radios that were 60, 70 years old that had disc capacitors in them, and they worked great. All I had to do was replace a filter capacitor. So anyway, let me get the tube tester set up, and we'll start testing these tubes. Okay, guys, we got the 35W4 in here, and I got it all set up, and it's a 35 volt tube. And I don't know if you can see this going up, but this is a real good tube, so we ain't gonna have to replace that. So let me get the next one in here, and we'll check that out. These get kind of hot too, so Okay, the next tube is a 50C5. So I know let's put on 50. Let's see what socket it goes in. 50C5. We'll go back up here, and this one here. F is 3. F1 is 4. Q is 2, 5. And the load is 20. Let's check this one out. It's going up. Let's let that warm up a little bit. And this also tests good. Like I said, I don't think this was used. I don't think this radio was used much for it to have the original tubes. And very rarely do I get a radio that has the original tubes. Now we're going to go to a 12AV6, which basically is the audio volume control. Okay, this goes into 7D, which is on this side over here. I think I blew this one out, guys. I forgot to turn everything off. Okay, 12AV6. This goes on 12. Let's see. 3, 4. Q is 1. And the load is 100. Okay, that tests good. The dynamic mutual conductance tests good. Okay. Q is 5. This gets 3 different tests, fellas. That's good. Said 40% would be good, and this is giving me 100%. Q is 6. Let's try this again. Yeah, this is a real good tube here. Okay. The last tube is a 12AU6. And that goes into number 7E. If I can get it in there. Okay. F is 3. F1 is 4. Q is 1. And this should be 50. That tests good as well. Hey fellas, all the tubes are real good, so we don't have to replace any tubes. Let me turn this light back on. And the only thing we gotta do now is let me clean the cabinet up, and we'll get this thing back together. This was a fairly easy one. Anyway, I'll be right back, guys. This is Wire. Okay, guys, everything's done. This turned out pretty good. I cleaned the top off a little bit. You got a little bit cleaner, but the names are still on there. I didn't want to scrub it too much. And it looks 100% better. So let's get this back in here and get this going. Try to get it going. Oops. Obviously, this is not magnetic. It is now. Okay guys, it's back in. Let me get the tubes in and get the loop antenna soldered back, and then we'll fire it up. Hey guys, we're back. It's all put together. So let's turn it on and see what's going on.
Our purpose is to provide full service representation for those folks seriously injured by the negligent act of another.
I have it on 68, and the pointer's right on 68. So I don't think it needs any kind of alignment.
Property because of the owner's negligence.
Used in condemnation of usury. We have to have a system for the peak.
I listen to family radio with construction workers who probably never heard of family radio.
Beautiful corals.
It's like everything's right on.
Tori and I are dressed up today.
This week on Truth for Life, we're beginning a new study in the book of...
That's it.
Anything all the law Officer Richard Klein.
We don't have too many stations here.
Financial system. Instead, the central bank now is pointing.
That's 68. That's 60. That's a gospel station.
Report. The Fed says economic uncertainty is on the rise since the start of
sounds
the war,
pretty good for a little plastic radio.
Level in 4
Turned out pretty good.
Higher mortgage rates could also hurt the housing industry.
And if you can see, none of the names were taken off. It did clean up a little bit. I don't know if I can get rid of this yellow, but I think that's age. But I kind of like it like that. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, this turned out really, really nice. So we'll have to see what we're going to do the next time. Anyway, fellas, I want to show you something. I bought this at the flea market the other day. It's new old stock. It's a Craftsman's multi-tester. It was new old stock. The guy only wanted $10. It was new in the box. The only thing I had to put in it was batteries, and it works great. Actually, I use it for this. I normally don't use analog, but I wanted to see if this would work. And this also tests the transistors as well. Well, fellas, weather permitting, I will be at Jacktown next weekend. And as long as it doesn't rain, I'll be there. Maybe I'll see some of you guys up there too. Anyway, fellas, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see what we're going to do next time. Anyway, this is Wire. See ya!